Hello and welcome back to Women's Football Talk, the YouTube channel that brings you all the latest news and stories from around the world of women's football. Now before we get into today's video, make sure you like and subscribe and turn on the post notification bell so you never miss a video of ours, and make sure you are following us on Twitter and on Instagram for all the latest news and stories from around the world of women's football. So the semi-finals of this summer's European Championships are now upon us. We are a little over 24 hours away from the first semi-final taking place between England and Sweden from Bramall Lane, and then obviously on Wednesday we have Germany versus France. So we'll start off with the England-Sweden game. Now if we look at both teams' quarter-finals, Sweden just about scraped past Belgium with a 1-0 win in the 93rd minute of the three added on, with Linda Sembrant scoring the winner past Nikki Everard. Now it was a game where I thought Sweden definitely could have had and maybe should have had more goals in it. Obviously there was the Stina Blackstenius goal that was ruled out due to offside, but there was a lot more chances for the Swedish side to score more goals had it not been for an excellent Nikki Everard. Now if we was to look at how England lined up against Spain, it looked a lot better, and as the game wore on, because obviously the Spanish side were mainly marking Keira Walsh, who they knew was England's main outlet in terms of passing ability, but as the 90 minutes wore on, like I said in the review of that, it was that the Spanish players got more tired, and then that allowed Keira Walsh to grow into the game more, and then it just trickled out that England just grew more confidence. And then so if we're going on that basis, I don't know whether Sweden have the full quality and capacity to do that for as long as Spain did, and I think it's going to be harder for them to contain Keira Walsh in this game, like compared to what the Spanish were able to do. So I'm not fully writing out Sweden. Obviously they definitely have the players like Kosovari Asllani, who's been Sweden's outstanding player of the tournament so far, Stina Blackstenius, Johanna Wrighton-Kenyard as well. So there's definitely players that England need to be wary of in terms of attacking sense, but I think if we compare the two teams on paper and so far performance wise this tournament, I've got to say England are the favourites going into this game. I wouldn't expect many changes, if any at all, from the England lineup. Yes, there's probably been calls for Alessia Russo and Ella Toone to get a nod ahead of Ellen White and Frank Kirby, but I think it's worked so far, bringing them two off the bench in the games that they have, and then giving them their fresh legs has more of an impact than it would bringing on Ellen White and Frank Kirby at roughly the same time, like just after the hour mark or so, which is what we've been used to seeing with Alessia Russo and Ella Toone. So I wouldn't expect any changes to the England squad. Obviously they've been able to welcome back Hannah Hampton, who had missed the quarterfinal against Spain due to COVID. And speaking on COVID situations, there was obviously the scare last week when Hannah Glass, Jonna Andersson and Emma Kohlberg had to miss their quarterfinal match for Sweden due to COVID, but there hasn't been any confirmation as of time of recording as whether to those players' availability for tomorrow's semi-final. So it's going to be a very interesting watch, but I'm going to give England the slight edge in this one. And then if we turn our attention now to Wednesday night and Germany versus France from Milton Keynes, France absolutely dominated the Dutch in their game, and again it's very similar to Sweden versus Belgium in the quarterfinal. Like I said, it's a game where the French should have scored more goals, however they only scored the one, thanks to a fantastic performance by Netherlands keeper Daphne van Domselaar and Stephanie van der Kraat. So there's a bit of questions as to who really has replaced Marie-Antoinette Katoto, because Malvin Millard played well in the first game. However, in this second game against the Netherlands, her chances were limited and didn't really create much. And I think if we're looking at a attacking perspective, I wouldn't be surprised if they go with the same front three of Cascarino, Millard and Diani, but I would expect more to go through Diani this time, considering how good her Euros has been. So I'd expect more to go through her, and it actually wouldn't surprise me if we saw Salma Basha start as well, because how well she did when she came on. She was such a big influence to the French getting through that tie against the Netherlands. It wouldn't surprise me if she starts. And then if we look at Germany, 2-0 win against Austria. Not as comfortable as they would have hoped for, but I did say Austria were going to provide a tough contest. Again, I don't think they've got it, because obviously Sarah Dubritz was the only one that could have potentially gotten booked, but it was the only one that got booked, so I don't expect her to be missing any games, so I don't expect any suspensions from either of the 4 teams. I don't expect much to change for Germany in terms of their lineup. I think for me, in terms of being more clinical so far this tournament, I think I'd give Germany the edge over France, and I would expect them to have that edge going into the final meeting between these two, obviously potentially heading to a final match with England if my predictions are right. So I'm going to give Germany the edge in that one and England the edge in their game. Right, make sure you like and subscribe, because we'll be back after the semi-final games to have a review of that before we have a preview of the final later on this week. And until then, make sure you like, comment and subscribe, like I said at the start of the video, with post notifications turned on, and you are following us on Instagram and on Twitter for all the latest news and stories from around the world of women's football. And until next time, we'll see you soon.